Do you have a sense about what that gap is that would be required for us to live up to our commitments to those who live in public housing?
Thank you for that question. I think that's always been a debate. You know, we fund the operating fund at 92%, or, you know, call the percentage proration, whatever you will, but it's never 100% of what the experts believe is needed to administer our programs. So there's always there's a gap of, you know, 8%, 5%, you know, you can put a number on it if you like, and it's going to be different everywhere. Each housing authority is run differently, and that's part of the problem with our system as well, is that we have a wide variety of housing authorities in the portfolio who serve a wide variety of families now after the last 30 years. We're doing mixed finance, mixed income housing,
right,
which I can go on and talk about forever.
I'll get there in a moment.
Okay, as a new way of doing public housing.
And this capital replacement and maintenance challenge is a monster, and I know it's been that way for many years. And you also acknowledge that there's essentially an inability to establish and fund reserves for operations and replacement. Is that because of a statutory or regulatory barrier, or is that a funding issue?
It's statutory.
Okay. So literally, PHAs who are trying to properly manage their assets cannot establish sinking funds, standard funds that any housing manager would have in the private sector.
Yes, sir.
So clearly that's one barrier that we could eliminate if we wanted public housing to operate well.
It is.
Then I'm interested in your proposed solution, and clearly you've had a lot of experience through the Hope 6 program, which, as you indicate, leveraged federal funds with more than $5 billion in private equity. Can you help me understand, for those of us who are particularly concerned about those families who are living in units where there are rent restrictions, what exactly does this do for those restrictions and those families? Are we seeing in these conversions, are families literally pushed out in the street, or is there some accommodation made?
So that was one of the original controversies about the Hope 6 program, would be displacement. You know, we're displacing poor families from what were at the time terrible properties, terrible places to live, terrible neighborhoods by any standard. Again, the National Commission on Severely Distressed Housing was quite clear in 1988 what the problem was, and it was obvious. You know, the methods used to do redevelopments, community building, community participation, bring good government. And good government breeds better government. Things that are going on in Indianapolis could have been avoided. I don't know. But setting a standard for good government locally is really critically important.
As we think about the conversion of some of these projects to mixed income, help me understand better. Is there a net new addition of units, or are we literally taking the same exact structure, remodeling it, and some folks who had rent restrictions no longer have them?
Excellent question. Thank you, Congressman. As the public housing inventory drops, we're now at 887,000 units. The Section 8 program goes up in terms of the number of families being served. When I served with the department, I retired in 2018, the appropriation for the Section 8 program was somewhere around $28 billion.
Could I interrupt you for a moment? Does this imply then essentially that we need a greater commitment to housing choice vouchers if we're going to make this work?
I mean, far be it for me to say that. It clearly is a wonderful tool to redevelop neighborhoods and to give families the opportunity to move out of distressed neighborhoods into communities that will, and I'm not sure if you've read the Chatty, Raj Chetty.
Raj Chetty, yes, I'm familiar.
You know, it's unbelievable. You know, I spent 35 years with the Hope 6 program doing it and hoping that whatever we did was going to serve these communities well, and it did. And it especially served children.
Yeah.
To me, it was a capstone of my career to know that the things that we did as a government had an impact.
I appreciate that, sir, and I do appreciate Mr. Chetty's research, and it's very valuable. I think what this is telling us is we need more financial commitment, fiscal commitment to the Housing Choice Voucher Program to make these opportunities available. Thank you.
Thank you.